Magandang araw po sa lahat. Ito ang ika-15 ng Oktubre, kalagitnaan po ng ika-10 buwan ng taong 2021 at palapit na ang ating Disyembre, ang ating Christmas season. In the meantime, ang nagpuputukan pong mga rebentador ay politika. At politika ng Pilipinas, pero sobrang maraming nakikialam galing sa kanluran from the Western powers. And alam na siguro ng lahat by this time, 1 week after the Nobel Peace Prize burst into the scene, na maraming question tungkol dito sa Nobel Peace Prize. In fact, ito ay maraming bumabatikos kahit sa kanluran. So ano ba talaga ang unang intensyon nitong Nobel Peace Prize? Because maraming Nobel Prize, sa mathematics, sa scientifico, sa medicine, and so on. Pero ang laging controversial po ay yung Peace Prize, yung tungkol sa kapayapaan daw ng mundo. But nobody has gone back to the original purpose of this Peace Prize. Well, meron pong will. Anong will sa Tagalog, maestra? Maestro? Anong will? Yung mamamatay ka na.
Yung kasulatan.
Yung pamana, yung kasulatan ng mana mo, no? Si Alfred Nobel, yung gumawa po ng dynamite TNT, na yumaman siya sa paggawa nitong pagpapasabog ng ang sa original will niya, ang intention niya sa Nobel Peace Prize the Peace Prize was to be awarded to the person who had done most for fraternity between nations, ng pagkakapatid ng mga bayan at mga bansa, for the abolition or reduction, pagbabawas of standing armies, and for the holding and promotion of peace congresses, yung pagpupulong ng mga tao para sa kapayapaan. Pero itong sinasabi ng Nobel Peace Prize Committee ngayon, ito ay para sa freedom of the press daw.
Journalism.
Journalism daw. Na ito ay ini-ensure nitong dalawang in-award nila, isang Russian, si Muratov, at si Maria Ressa, alam natin dito, na dahil sa kanilang ginagawa daw, ay nakaka-promote ng kapayapaan. Yung ba talaga ang nagiging resulta o pagkahati-hati ng bayan, ng mundo sa mga issue tungkol sa katotohanan, Well, one of the icons and pillars and monumental figures in Philippine literature, si Francisco C. O'Neill Jose, who's I think 96 years old now, which adds to his stature kasi wala naman pong mga tanong tungkol sa kanyang integridad all these many years that he has been writing. Sabi ni Francisco C. O'Neill Jose, I will be damned for stating this, sour grapes, sasabihin nila, akusahan ako, sour grapes now, because I was in the listing of possible Nobel Literary Prize winners as published in international media. I have criticized Duterte, but not on press freedom. The Philippine press is alive and well, not because of Maria Ressa. No writer is in jail. There is no censorship. Duterte hasn't closed a single newspaper or radio station. The closure of ABS-CBN was made by Congress and which did not renew the ABS-CBN franchise, which is all in accordance with the law. So, one of the best cartoons about this came out sa Daily Tribune. Kita po ninyo yung image, ginagawang ashtray, yung award na hawak-hawak yung cartoon ni Maria Ressa. And sa international and Philippine reactions, ito po galing kay Max Blumenthal, a very well-known alternative media icon. Sabi niya, as real Alex Ruby and I reported, Nobel Prize winner Maria Ressa and her Rappler.com are sponsored by billionaire surveillance capitalist Pierre Omidyar and array of U.S. intelligence cutouts, yung caricature in US, tulad ng National Endowment for Democracy. Pinopondohan itong NED ng US government at ito naman ang bagong CIA front.
A front organization.
And from ILDA, there are folks asking why some people can't be happy that Maria Ressa was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. It's because she won it by being dishonest. She claimed before an international audience that living in the Philippines is like living in a war zone. That was, ito po, galing din sa dalawang parliamentarian sa European Union, si Claire Daly, entirely false. Sabi niya, WikiLeaks of 2010 were published with the Guardian News, New York Times, and so on. The idea it was a dumping online is just U.S. Department of Justice prosecution talking points. Shameful to hear from someone who should know better. Si Ressa kasi, binatiko si Julian Assange at yung WikiLeaks na nag-expose ng mga baseless killings, drone killings, helicopters killings doon sa Iraq ng American forces. So in-expose na yan si Julian Assange, nakakulong.
Sa nasa
Bakit hindi si Julian Assange ang may award na talagang nagsiwalat ng karumal-dumal na katotohanan ng krimen ng Estados Unidos? Kasi po, nakakasangkapan ang Peace Prize ng Amerikano. Yan din po from
anti-America ng kanyang ginawa.
Mick Wallace, and the credentials of the two follows, si Claire Daly and Mick Wallace, ayan po ang credentials po nila. I will not go into the details. So, binatikos na rin natin sa ilang mga talakayan natin dito. Assange exposes war crimes. He is arrested by the Western powers while the U.S. neocons pay Ressa their dollars. Maria Ressa, yung mga neoconservatives. Okay. And so, yung Peace Prize mismo ay very controversial. All over the world, ever since. Tulad nung pagka-award kay Obama, maraming nag-question dyan, kahit nung Amerikano. Dahil matapos ng Peace Prize na yan, nagbomba siya ng Syria at so many other countries. Yung ba ay ayon doon sa original will stated by Alfred Nobel? Obviously, hindi. Lumiit ba ang military ng Estados Unidos dahil kay Obama? Hindi. Lumaki ang budget ng military. It is contrary to the original intention and dream of hope of Alfred Nobel. Si Henry Kissinger, bakit binigyan ng Nobel Peace Prize? Siya po ay nag-utos ng pagbobomba ng North Vietnam, para pilitin daw yung North Vietnamese to the bargaining table. Is that the work of a man of peace? And the biggest over the many decades, na question is, bakit si Mahatma Gandhi, nominated 12 times for the Nobel Peace Prize, hindi manalo-nalo? Alam po ninyo mga dahilan na lumalabas? Kasi nationalist siya, anti-British colonialism siya, and so on. Samantalang si Mahatma Gandhi, ang siyang nag-introduce even to me or to you as young people, yung satyagraha. You fight for your rights peacefully. You don't carry arms. Yung concept na yun, nag-spread sa mundo from that man of peace, yet he cannot be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Pero dito, sa kanan po, makikita nyo, report ng Reuters, proud na proud yung Nobel Prize Committee, ipresenta si Maria Ressa at si Dmitry Muratov. Doon po sa Russia naman, ang reaksyon ng Russia, sabi ni Vladimir Putin, Nobel Prize, Peace Prize, no shield for journalist Dmitry Muratov kung siya ay lumabag sa batas. Ano yung batas na yun? Foreign Agents Act.
Yes.
Ngayon, sasabihin nila, hindi ba suppression yan ng Russia? And so on, yung foreign alam po ninyo, ang Foreign Agents Law ay nagsimula sa Estados Unidos, 1950s. Doon sa McCarthyism na kanilang paghahunting down ng mga Reds, mga pula sa American society. Pero so, all of these highlight Philippine politics today and the mudslinging sa campaign, plus of course, yung mga madaya na mga pagpopogi sa mga kalaban ng administrasyon o yung tingin nila ay kakampi ng administrasyon tulad ni BBM. And the Marcos period daw, the dictatorship and so on, again, against peace daw yun and so on. Actually, the most peaceful era was the early part of Marcos's martial law. Kasi naipasok niya ang katahimikan, nahuli si Jose Maria Sison, nakulong, nasugpo ang MILF na pinopondohan ng tagalabas din. That is peace when you have law and order. Pero na-discover din dito sa mga Arabo pala, mga Vietnamese, ang mga bumuboto kay Leni Robredo sa Rappler survey mismo. Kaya ang ginawa po, and the evidence is there, nandyan, tinake down ng Rappler nung nalampasan ni BBM si Leni Robredo doon at natuklasan at nalantad na yung mga bumoboto dito kay Leni pala ay yan dyan ang mga pangalan, mga Arabo at mga Vietnamese. So, binayaran nila ang mga call centers and trolls doon sa Middle East at sa Vietnam para bumoto pa. Ang problema, medyo tanga din yung mga yon at ginamit yung mga pangalang Arabo at Vietnamese, hindi Pilipino. Well, now let's go to our two analysts, Maestra Ana Malindog. Uy, I know you're so active sa Facebook sa labanang ito. Please.
Oo. Ang unang reaction ko doon po sa may kinalaman kay Maria Ressa winning the Nobel Peace Prize, I really don't agree na deserving siya. Domestically, unang-una, dapat malaman ng ating mga kabansa na siya ay convicted felon. Ano ang conviction niya doon? It's all about libel, cyber libel. Na-libel niya ang isang private citizen. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa nila tinitake down yung article. Ganon sila
And that case has nothing to do with government.
No. Private party, individual na businessman na nilibel niya ng sobra-sobra na parang criminal na ang tingin doon. So, nanalo ang private person. So, convicted siya. Ngayon, on appeal. Ang nakakainis pa, dahil nanalo daw siya ng Nobel Peace Prize, ibura na daw yung mga kanyang criminal liabilities dahil Nobel Peace Prize. Of course not.
Yeah.
Diba? I mean, come on. Second,
yun ang gusto nila.
Yes.
Yung mga Amal Clooney,
yung mga US
human rights
lawyers
daw sa US.
Second point, purveyor ng fake news. Kung siya ang nanalo for journalism, how come? That's really a very ironic because dito sa Pilipinas, siya ay ang Rappler at even siya, nagpapacilitate sila ng fake news most often, no?
And di ba rated as the least
trusted in the Philippines na news website, no? Pangatlo, violator of the Constitution. Bakit? Yung ownership, media ownership, 'di ba? Foreign ownership dapat wala, pero sinong nagfa-finance sa kanila? 'Di ba?
Obidyar.
Yes, and of course ang front organization ng tinatawag nating CIA, no? So yun yung mga bagay na hindi ko alam kung alam to ng Nobel Peace Prize or they just turn a blind eye just to para kasi gusto nilang i-shame ang Duterte administration. Kasi Ressa is like painting herself as the hero fighting against the Duterte. Wala namang suppression of freedom of expression. The mere fact na nagra-run pa yung Rappler at the mere fact na nai-interview siya kabi-kabila in and out of the country, that's actually press freedom, no? Pangatlo, the most na ayaw ko, she won the award by painting the country black. What is glorious about that? What is heroic about that? Kasi some people would say, she's a heroine. Anong heroic doon? Kung ang country mo, at the expense of your country, you won an award. Just because the Western powers doesn't like Duterte. Yeah. So, di ba? I mean, come on, give me a break. I'm actually writing an article about that, an op-ed that will be published in ASEAN Post this Sunday.
Okay, we'll wait for that and
Yes.
we'll talk about it in our next meeting again dito sa Opinyon ngayon. Let's go to our senior analyst, diplomat, and public relations professional.
Actually, ang puntos ko rito, simulan ko from a foreign journalist, Ted McDonnell. Ito ang statement niya. This is unadulterated bullshit. I've worked in the Philippines as a journalist and documentarian for the past 5 years. It is safer than many places in the U.S. Did you ask Ressa why she accepts money by CIA-funded National Endowment for Democracy? Her facts are false, and what war zones has she been in? The other is from Shonil Jose. I ask you to look deeply into yourselves. telling the trolls who were supporting Maria Ressa, "You hate Duterte so much, you cannot see any good in the man, and you think I have sold out to him. I don't even know him. I have criticized him. Now ask yourself, what heroic sacrifice has Maria Ressa done for freedom and the Philippines? And who is funding her?" Then I go to the implications. Because out of his retirement, for the first time I heard Antonio Parlade Jr. come out in the open in a radio interview cautioning us about this, na parang sineset up ang sitwasyon dito sa Pilipinas, obviously by foreigners, so that they could come in deeper and infest our election process. Ang sabi niya, paano ngayon kung may mangyari kay Maria Ressa? Paano ngayon kung mamatay si Maria Ressa? Sino ngayon ang pagbibintangan niyan? He is already anticipating a scenario that Johnny Ponce Enrile says, no? It seems to me that the national political situation in the country is nearly like to what happened before President Marcos declared martial law 49 years ago in 1972. And if I may add, close to the situation build-up from the assassination of Ninoy to the squeezing of our economy, 83 to 84, the calling of the snap election in 86. So yan po yung mga scenarios, no? So, ito po ang unsolicited comment ni Senator Juan Ponce Enrile sa Facebook. "I hope you, my friends, use your brilliant minds to analyze the political situation and avoid the eruption of an unintended and unwarranted civil strife in the land. Remember, the situation is not to be taken lightly. Once it is launched, there is no turning back." So yan po ang grim probable scenarios that would follow this Nobel Prize.
Alam mo, Kaado and Maestro Ana, all this interference from the outside reminds me of our history. Kung paano itong mga dayuhan galing sa kanluran, pumasok dito, sinakop ang Pilipinas sa pamamagitan ng papaaway ng mga iba't ibang mga tribong mga naninirahan dito.
Ayaw nila talaga tayong umunlad. Ayaw talaga nila tayong maging stable.
Kaya bakit anti-Duterte sila? Duterte united the nation under an independent state, sovereign state, and independent foreign policy. And then inareglo niya yung mga posibleng pagsimula ng away ng Asian countries. Siya ay naging isang leader sa ASEAN, and siya ay nakipag-usap sa China na bibigay din ng solusyon sa mga gusot dito sa rehiyon. No? So that is where the country is going after Duterte's first term. And of course, it seems there is no Duterte legacy kasi he's not legacy but a continuation. It's a post-Duterte period na because hindi tatakbo si Sara and si Duterte hindi na rin tatakbo. But the legacy of Marcos and Duterte together seems to be sustained at this point in time dahil mukhang namamayagpag, nangunguna si BBM dito sa sentimento ng tao. What are your
Ang sa akin
reactions?
kasi dyan, politically, kung titignan mo, ang panalo ni Maria Ressa is just part of the plot, actually, against Duterte and even against Marcos. Because they're painting, sa social media, lagi nilang inaano yung martial law, no? Ini-inculcate nila sa mga tao na, like for example, if BBM wins, there's such a thing as martial law kasi ginawa ng father niya, and nire-relate nila kay Duterte kasi nagkaroon ng martial law sa Mindanao. So in a very general sense, no? So itong Nobel Peace Prize
Well, just so happens that both martial law of Marcos and martial law in Mindanao are more popular to the people
yes.
Than what they are saying.
And also, in relation to that, so they're trying to create a huge propaganda through the Nobel Peace Prize. Kasi nga, Maria Ressa is being painted to be an anti-Duterte personality.
Yeah.
But the thing only about Maria Ressa is she's not supported by majority or more than majority of Filipinos. No one likes her and no one even pay attention to her. It's just that Filipinos are so emotional, expressing that they don't recognize Maria Ressa winning an award.
At saka binubus lang ng Inquirer.
Of course,
sariling,
kasi ito yung mga mga
na-
fake na ngayon yan eh.
Yung sariling social media website niya, yung Rappler.
Rappler.
And of course, all the usual suspects, Philippine Star, Business World, na pag-aari ni Manny Pangilinan, yung iba naman, pag-aari ng ibang mga oligarchs. No? Yeah, Kaado.
I mourn the death of real press freedom in this country. Kasi nung mga bandang 80s, buhay na buhay ang papi. Buhay na buhay
Ano ang
ang...
papi? Please
Yun yung
tell our-
association po ng mga publishers.
Philippine Association
Philippine Association of
of
Publishers
Publishers Incorporated.
Incorporated. Yan po ang nagse-self-police ng lahat ng print media. Buhay na buhay din up to even the 2010s. Ang KBP, self-policing. Nangyari ho ngayon, nagkabentahan na ng bloke. Binili na ng mga oligarchs at inukupahan na ng mga komunista yung ilalim. Oligarchs ang financing, komunista yung editorial, na mga nawala na ang papi. Nawala na ang KBP.
ang tanong,
Nawala
Kaado,
na ang self-policing
Kaado,
and impunity of the negative media.
So, ang tanong, Kaado, bakit yung oligarchs at komunista parang may collaboration? Yun din ang sinabi ni Marcos, di ba? The rightist and leftist conspiracy. What is the purpose? To destabilize the government, the state, and society so they will always be the ones in control.
And they're always the one up there. That's how it is.
Kontrolado nila basta magulo ang lipunan. Kontrolado nila. Kasi lahat ng tao will not have a decent way of living. Hindi ang opportunity, hindi mawa-widespread. Maraming maghihirap, maraming maghihikahos, at sila ang may hawak
At saka,
ng pera.
one thing that we have to remember, if you talk about media, Rappler is not even really a news site. It's a propaganda machinery, no, ng mga oligarchs and even of the West and even of the political opposition. There's no quality news item there. It's all about propaganda, diba? Promoting the interests of the oligarchs and the politicians that they support. So
And
it's
the
not
foreign
legit,
power
of the foreign
from the
power
West.
funding them. So it's not really a legitimate press in that sense. So there's no such thing as oppression of press freedom dahil tinutuligsa ang kanilang violation of the Constitution in terms of foreign ownership. It's not even a press, it's a propaganda machine.
Okay, I think we have the last 2 minutes.
Noon, bawal na magkaroon ang isang may-ari ng Trimedia. And there are still these laws ay wala na hong nag-i-implement.
Tulad ng halimbawa, Business World kay Manny Pangilinan, Channel 5 by Manny Pangilinan.
Yung
May
radio,
radio pa yan.
Radio, hindi ko alam kung ano kanya.
Interaction radio.
Interaksyon. And then social media.
May social media ka.
Nandiyan na sila lahat eh.
Hindi lang sa Pilipinas yan. Sa Estados Unidos, 50 years ago, there were 1,000 publishers. Now, it's all now down to 5, 6, 7 major corporations.
Wholesale buy.
So,
Ganyan po trabaho ng media, thought control.
mabuti naman na lumabas ang social media at yung mga independent
Yes.
media tulad natin
Correct.
dito. Pero ito ay kanilang Facebook dahan-dahang ginigipit ng Amerikano, ano? So, pati ako na-ban for the next 30 days. But anyway. So, last few seconds, I think that's about it, no?
Yes.
And we will talk more about the international situation and regional situation in our second segment.